UPOA financial seminar meeting held today, Thursday, April 7th at 4:30 will commence.
It's financial and information.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. So good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us in this wonderful, rainy, sunshiny day. So I'm going to jump to it. We have some wonderful presentations today. We have our attorney, Harry Greenberg, our EEO attorney, Yetta Kirkland. We have our financial news program, benefit program from Jerry Meehan. And I'm hoping our lobbyist, Hank will get on to tell us about update on the pension, but I'm not sure yet. And then I'll finish off with some updated information. So without further ado, I'm going to have Harry Greenberg, our attorney, give you some information for the retirees and active as well. Okay, Harry.
Good evening, everybody. As you know, there's been some litigation going on with the managed care. These are for the retirees who are on Medicare. Now, Medicare is a federal program. Once you hit 65, you have to go into it. And the city and the MLC agreed, 96% of the unions voted for this, will get you the same managed care benefits that you had under senior care, which is, and I have that. It's like the GHI as your supplement, because Medicare is 80% coverage. We came to an agreement, and that because of federal funding, the city was going to save $600 million a year. There was some litigation over it. One is because Aetna sued. They said we didn't follow proper procedure, and the judge dismissed that case. But there was a group of teachers that sued, saying they don't know and they don't believe they can get the same doctors in hospitals. The judge gave a restraining order pending the outcome of what proof we would bring. And we did. The two hospitals they were concerned with was Sloan Kettering for cancer and the Hospital for Special Services for orthopedic type of surgeries. Well, we had that, so we showed that to the judge. And as far as the doctors are concerned, the lawyer keeps saying, we don't have the doctors, all the doctors. Well, the federal law says, if you take Medicare, you must take managed care. So whether they knew that or not, the doctors, some of the doctors said, we're not taking this, and they're bound by it. Now they can get out, but they can't, nobody who does Medicare can go to them unless they pay cash, right? So I think this whole thing is being put together by people who are uninformed, intentionally or by mistake. So this savings would be $600 million. Now, I think for those of you who have listened to me speak about health insurance before, I told you we have a stabilization fund. The city funds to make sure you don't have to pay premiums. And if you have GHI or HIP, the city pays premiums. And there's been some changes for the active people in 2014 and 2018, none of which hit the retirees. And those changes saved the city together $5 billion a year, reoccurring. Now it was time for the retirees to see what they could do. And we agreed on $600 million, that's what the experts, the technical people, said it would save by going to this program. And by the way, you get the same doctors, the same hospitals, and increased benefits, such as if you have to travel to and from the doctor, that's paid for. If you need meals, when you get discharged, that's paid for a period of time. And there are other benefits. And what happens is the savings comes from, in good part, money from the federal government. And that's where the $600 million comes from. Having said that, they sued, and their lawyer keeps saying the same thing all the time. Shortly, we'll be getting a decision from a judge, hopefully lifting the restraining order. But because there's appeals, we're going to have to wait. It was originally supposed to happen January 1st, and it was going to be April 1st. And now that the the period seems to be July 1st. And each month that we don't have this program is costing the city $50 million they wouldn't have had to pay. It's crazy, right? And I don't think it's going to be in place on July 1. But there have been and there will continue to be sending out to all retirees that are effective, and there are 250,000 of them, a notice. So, and then you'll have a choice. And the choice will be very simply, you can go to managed care, which I'm affected, and that's where I'm going, with no premium, and this co-pays, or keep what you have, senior care, right? And it costs $192 a person. So you and your wife, it's about just short of $400 a month. So, and you'll have a choice to go back and forth at certain periods of time. So that being the case, we're waiting for the judge and the appellate division to issue their decision so we know where we're going. Once that comes out, it's going to take 2 to 3 months at minimum to implement. So I'm guessing, and this is just a guess, that this won't happen but until after the summer. So that's the Medicare thing. The other thing I want to talk about is COVID. You know, things are getting better, except in Manhattan, there's a little blip because of the BA, the change. Hopefully that won't go too far. And there's some litigation still going on for everybody. One is for those who are fired, right? Or retired because they had no choice because they didn't want to get vaccinated, to get them back. There's a court case going on and there's an improper practice. It's an administrative case. And we'll see where that takes us. Right now, the court case is in the appellate division, and the administrative case, the improper practice, is with the Board of Collective Bargaining, and they're reviewing our papers, and we'll see what direction they're going to be going. Having said that, I just want to talk about collective bargaining. There are no unions in collective bargaining at this point. The mayor got it in place January 1. He's done 100 days. He reappointed the labor commissioner. And the only people that are doing anything with collective bargaining is the PBA, and they're in interest arbitration for a contract that could be no more than 2 years, that's already 6 years old. Okay, so they'll come out with a decision. That'll be final and binding under the state labor law, the Taylor law, and then they'll have to go for the next 4 years, of which if they can't make a bargain, they'll have to do 2 years at a time. So that's collective bargaining. And we have already put the city on notice for collective bargaining. We're going to begin to prepare. So when it comes time to collectively bargain, we'll be ready. And what are we looking at? We're looking at your pay, your safety, increasing new benefits such as annuity and equipment allowance. They don't call it uniform allowance, and other things. But what's really important is your work schedule. We really have to get something done with that. And because of that, Katrina will tell you that we met with the mayor and the deputy mayor, Phil Banks, and we've had conversations with them, and she'll be talking about, I'm sure, our meeting with Commissioner Bermudez, which was a little bit of a difficult meeting because she doesn't like us saying things that are true, quite frankly. So that's my report. And Yetta, I want to wish you good luck with what you're doing. They really should appreciate it.
Harry, I thank you, and I want to thank you because Harry has already been helpful, and all of your people are working together in tandem, and Harry did a great job with that meeting, but also was able to get us some data for the EEOC piece. So Harry, I just want to thank you for that. That's very helpful, and we'll see. Like he said, never any guarantee of success. But we're pushing forward and feeling optimistic. And Dalvini, should I just segue right into the EEO piece? You are muted.
You're muted.
I'm having a Kodak moment right now, so do what you, this is such a beautiful moment.
Okay, so I'm going to sign off now.
Harry, go ahead.
Take
And I
care.
talk to you.
Wish you the best.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day,
Wait,
everybody.
Harry, before you, oh no, go ahead. I talk to you. Go ahead. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
So let's give you an update on the EEOC side. I think Harry intimated a little bit some of the tensions that you guys know better than me with regards to some of the challenges you guys are having, and Katrina and others can speak better to that. But the department has been very assertive, aggressive, forceful in trying to dismiss your claims. And so we've gone through a number of rounds. We amended our complaint to resolve their first motion to dismiss. They brought another motion to dismiss, and the court is telling us that we now have to amend again in order to avoid a dismissal with prejudice, and specifically has asked that we provide specific data, which I think is good, actually. And I really appreciate it. I don't know if anyone got a chance to call in and listen to the oral arguments that happened last month, but I think the judge is just really smart, and she's very focused. She really knows the issues very well. She's written some very good landmark decisions around Title VII issues. And I think she really, I just think, like I said, I think she's smart and she understands the issues, and she wants us to kind of organize. Every judge has a different vision in terms of what they think the important pieces are, what the important factual issues are. And, so she's kind of given us a roadmap in terms of what we need to do, because likely the court, the city is going to bring another motion to dismiss, we can only imagine. And so the court wants to kind of focus in on specific issues. So that's what we've been doing. We also, I think the union has sent out a request to make sure that you guys log on to your portals. And I want to thank Charlene also, who has just been bedrock of help in terms of getting us the data that we need to get to our experts. But just, this is an opportunity to cross T's and dot I's. And what it's going to come down to is if we can get the information, if we can get the data together, and we can make our case, then we're going to be able to move forward. And if we can't, we can't. So in terms of what the members can do to help, you've been sent a link online with an email to go to your portal and to make sure your information is updated and accurate. And please do that. And then, tell a friend to do that. Make sure your colleagues are doing that as well. If you don't have an email address or you didn't get the email, let either Charlene or Katrina know as soon as possible, and I'm sure that they will send you out another link. We've gotten a tremendous response, but we want to keep pushing forward to make sure the more accurate information we can get, the better. So that's basically where we are. We will submit our amended complaint at the end of the month. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, but I am going to guess that the department is going to make a third motion to dismiss, and we'll see what happens. And, the court likely will have briefings, and there may be another oral argument. Or maybe we can convince, if we do a good enough job, we can convince the city not to bother with a third motion to dismiss. Not expecting that, but shoot for the moon. If you miss, you're still among the stars. So that's basically where we are. We may be reaching out to individuals because we want to get more granular detail or information on specifics. So somebody may be in touch with you with regards to details that we need. And if you have any questions, you can always obviously get in touch through your union leadership.
Thank you, Yida. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then before we go on, if there's any questions of you want to ask based on what you've heard so far, always remember that you can go to unitedprobation@gmail.com and post your questions, and whatever we can't answer, we'll have referred to the attorneys or either to Yida or to Harry in regards to the issues going on with the Medicare Advantage, in regards to the EEO questions, Yetta can answer those questions, so you can always go on. I appreciate you, Yetta. Thank you.
Great, of course.
All
Take
right,
care,
good
everybody.
night.
Good to hear from you.
Bye. Now we have our lobbyist, Hank Steinkoff, who's going to give us an update on our pension bill. So without further, and who he had a discussion with today. So Hank, you want to
Well,
jump on?
Of course. I mean, I was on the phone. Hello, everybody. I was on the
Hi.
phone this afternoon, and we're in relation to other things going on in Albany with Peter Abadi, the chairman of the Assembly Committee, that will determine whether we can do anything on your pension issues. We've already seen the state senator involved. So Abadi will talk to, will be happy to meet with us and have a discussion. I think the meeting is all well and good, but I think we need to put a fire under these people, all of them. And the only way we do that is by telling them what you do all day long and getting some fire under that and making people understand how serious this is. I mean, the general email, everybody, I don't want to be disrespectful to the Adams administration, but I just got off the phone. I represent Local 237 Teamsters as well. I'm the PR guy for them, and on whatever they need me to be any day. We just had a school safety agent assaulted by 3 people with a complement of school safety agents down by 50%. So, and the probation situation, it seems to me, is even worse than that. It's just extraordinary. So I think that arguing for what we need has to be prefaced by arguing about what we do and letting people know what we do, because they don't have any idea. And I'm convinced that no one in the administration has an idea what you all do. You know, that's problem one. But we'll have the meeting with the body, and your leadership will do whatever it's got to do to make the case. And we'll see if we can get something into print, which is what I'd like to do. And I'm also, it also gives me some concern, because I think you're going to see changes in the legislature and people who are elected to office, the likes of which we haven't seen in a long while. The so-called criminal justice bail reform changes, according to what Abate told me an hour and a half ago, are mostly cosmetic that's not fair, are mostly concentrated around the discovery issue. And there's some ridiculous provision about making gun possession make weapons possession a bailable offense. So in other words, you get caught with a gun, the judge gets to set bail, which is kind of idiotic, and is nowhere near what police officers and peace officers need, and it's nowhere near what the civilians in our city who are getting murdered in very significant numbers need. So, you know, they're going to see people who are going to pay the price for that. And if you want my political predictions, which are pretty good, I'll tell you right now that the governor can lose this race on bail reform alone. You could have a Republican in Albany come January. I mean, the shootings that are going on Long Island. I mean, I'm the idiot that said that Kaminsky would never be elected Nassau DA. So the shootings that are going on Long Island, the problem is not the numbers; it's they're happening in unusual places. And when that occurs, people tend to get nervous, and that's why I think it's an optimal time for probation officers to begin to define what they do and how they do it in a more public context. And that doesn't mean, you know, going to see the city council members, because they're idiots. No offense. They're really not interested in this. They're interested. I don't know what they're interested in, but they are not interested in protecting the people that live in their districts. And they're not interested in ensuring that people who are jammed up can get back in, can get diverted from the system by professionals like you, and you are the professionals who know how to do this. Nor are they interested in really, you know, dealing with the problems of the Rock, Rikers Island. If they were, they'd be talking to you, but they're not, because they don't know anything. They're dumbasses. No offense. That being said, educating them is all well and good, but I don't think that's the case. I think it all revolves around crime and shootings. That's what the public, and bail, and that's what the public is interested in. I think somehow, from a PR perspective, the argument has to be made that you're the only solution to these problems, and that the city has to start paying you properly and taking care of your pensions and reaching top step. Now, the Adams administration may talk a good game, but they haven't gotten to the table yet on this stuff. You know, so that's my report, and I'm much more militant about these things than most.
All right, that's me. Hank, you can hear me now. All right, so Hank, thank you for the update. We appreciate you. Once again, anybody has any questions for Hank, you can refer them to United Probation at gmail.com, and then we'll forward to him and he'll get back to you. Thank you for John. I'm talking to you tonight.
I hope so.
Okay.
You promise now.
I promise. I'll call you about 9. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, I
Good
hope
night.
so. Bye.
All right, good night. All right, now is Jerry on? Tandra,
I am
you're here? Okay, great.
I am
Now,
here.
great. So, hi, Jerry. How do you
Hi.
say your last name?
McGarren. McGarren,
Okay,
yeah.
so our special guest is Jerry McGarren. I don't know if you read the last newsletter, but the trustees decided to voted to have a new benefit added to for the active. Right now, we're starting with the active, and it's an investment benefit, financial advising benefit, which Mr. Jerry's going to talk more about. And the reason we decided to do a financial advisor program is because a lot of us in our communities and the different communities or whatever don't know we don't know how to manage money properly. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just saying a lot of us don't know how to manage or how to prepare for our futures and stuff like that. And I thought that, and there's no cost to, it's a benefit that comes from the fund, and the union, the fund or nor the union benefits from this. I just thought it was a good idea to have somebody available to you to help you guide you through your finances. So without further ado, I'm going to have Jerry come and speak to you guys about it. And once again, any questions, he'll give you contact information, and then you can always contact our UPO, United Probation at gmail.com. So without further ado, Jerry, again.
Thank you, Dalvini. And thanks for having me, everybody. Good evening. Now, Dalvini, would I be able to share, if you share a screen, I can pull up the
That's
presentation?
Tangela or Charlene, one of them. I don't know. Y'all got to do the,
Okay.
not me. I'm just, so. Who's going to let him share? Y'all got it? Charlene said yes.
Okay.
Jerry, we can't hear you. Hello?
How's that?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay. Again, thanks for having me. My name is Jerry McGarren from Stacy Braun Associates, and we're happy to announce this new benefit that Dalvini was just talking about. It's a financial counseling program. And a little bit about us is that we were founded in 1977, and we provide investment management and financial planning to unions. We've been working with unions for almost 50 years. 95% of our clients are unions. So about 20 years ago, we started this financial planning division because trustees were asking us to provide financial advice to their members. So we decided to put this group benefit together and offer it to various unions. So why would someone need financial counseling? Dalvini touched on a few points, but really it's just about anything. I mean, maybe you're unsure if you have enough money to retire on, or maybe you have excessive debt and live paycheck to paycheck and want to get out of that cycle. Or maybe you're not sure if you're invested properly in your city 401k plan or 457B plan. You may have questions regarding your taxes. You may not know if you have adequate or if you have the right kind of life insurance, disability, long-term care. Maybe you have questions about purchasing a home or refinancing your home, and what to do with your retirement accounts after you retire. Do you want to roll it to an IRA or leave it where it is? Maybe you have questions about long-term care. A lot of us go through situations we're dealing with elderly parents or relatives or ourselves where they may need some kind of nursing home care or assisted living care. And we try to help figure out ways that gets paid. Or maybe you're trying to save for education for a child or a grandchild. We could discuss ways to fund education. And really just any financial questions you may have and just don't know who to ask. A lot of times, if you have financial questions, you have to reach out to an advisor, and they're going to charge you fees, and they're going to charge commissions on a product that you may or may not need. So this is a great way to have objective advice. So what we do is we act kind of as your financial coach. Okay, we just give advice. We don't sell anything. It doesn't cost you a penny. We just give advice. You're entitled to 6 hours a year of free consultations, and it's confidential. The advice is unbiased, objective, and it's customized. We do not get paid by anybody other than the Probation Officers Association. Consultations are performed by a certified financial planner or a registered investment advisor from our company. Again, no products are sold. We don't sell any insurance or commission, mutual funds or anything like that. Consultations are held virtually or at the union facilities or at Stacy Braun's office. We're in downtown Manhattan. Or you could just receive financial assistance via email, virtual meetings, toll-free numbers, whatever it takes to get your questions answered, we could provide. So common topics, as I mentioned before, retirement planning, debt management, education planning, your retirement accounts, such as your 457 or 401k. We could discuss your pension. When you take your pension, you're going to have to select an option on how you want it paid out. And so we can help you with that decision. If you have any kind of estate or inheritance planning, divorce matters, we can help with the financial issues related to that. Any kind of life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care, we can assist you. Tax planning, I mean, it's tax season right now. Maybe you're paying, you owe money each year. You don't know why. That's something we can help with. And then elder care, survivor planning. Really, any financial topic that you want to discuss is on the table, with the exception of health insurance and auto and home insurance, just because we're not licensed in those areas. So here's just a summary of what you get for free: 6 hours of financial consultations, toll-free access to CFPs and RIAs. We have a website, a lot of helpful information. We have an email help desk, and we also hold occasional webinars and seminars based on various topics. We have a general financial planning webinar. We have a retirement planning webinar, investment webinar. So you'll be on the watch out for those as well. The personal consultations, again, they're virtual, in person, or toll-free telephone. We can just talk about your finances in general, or you may have specific questions relating to various topics. Even if you have a financial planner, it's a great way to get a second opinion without any cost. We can let you know if you're being advised correctly, in our opinion, or if the products that you're being sold, are they the correct products for you. Our website has financial narratives and articles, market data. You can get stock quotes, financial news, financial calculators, glossary of financial terms, links to other sites. And then that's where you would go. If you wanted to use our email help desk, you could send in questions through there as well. The help desk is really just an easy way. We're almost available 24/7, basically. You have a question, you could just send it in. You can call us. You can schedule a consultation. We just want to be there, when you need the answers. If you were to go out on the street and get 6 hours of financial planning, it could cost you anywhere from $500 to $200 to $2,000. It could be very expensive for this type of advice. So it's offered for free, by your union. And it's designed to establish long-term relationships between you and one of the advisors. For example, we've been working with some unions for 15, 20 years, and I've been meeting with the same people year in and year out. So we've developed a good rapport. It's like going to a physical at a doctor's appointment. You go once a year, you get checked up, and there's recommendations, and we keep building on the plan until you reach a specific goal, like retirement or getting out of debt, and so forth. So that's pretty much a synopsis of it. Just consider it as you having a financial advisor available at all times. You can ask any questions you want. We can do, general overview or specific questions. And you have 6 hours, so you can use it, how you want. In fact, you can, we do encourage you to have a spouse or partner there, especially if you're both sharing expenses or each making decisions. You can even have a child there, as long as you're there, you can have anyone with you and we could discuss any financial matters that you want. So here's our address. And this is our toll-free number. If you're interested in scheduling a consultation, call this number. You'll speak to Jenny. She's our scheduler, and she'll set you up with a date and a time that we can, meet virtually. I mean, we find that Zoom meetings work great because they're very convenient. But if virtual meetings don't work for you, then we could meet at the union office, or we can meet at our office. Again, we're in downtown Manhattan. And then here's our website. So feel free to check out our website and get some more information or send in your questions through your email help desk. So that pretty much concludes the benefit. We have this benefit available to many unions in the New York City, New York State area. Again, all unions. We have teachers unions. We have city employees, Local 237, Local 300. We have trade unions like Local 94, Local 817. We have teachers throughout New York State. We also have state employees under the Public Employee Federation. So we're very knowledgeable about what kind of financial situations that arise. We're very knowledgeable about the pension and the retirement plans that you have available to you. So I encourage you to use the benefit. We're excited to present it to you, and we'll hope to hear from you. And again, call this number and to schedule your consultation.
Thank you, Jerry. Can I ask you a question? You mentioned
Yes.
you give webinars. How will we find out about the webinar? Would you send me the link and then we share it with our PR team, or do you need to have a list of the members' phone numbers?
So
emails or something?
Yeah. So what we would do is we would host the webinar, and we would send out an invite, and that would be a link that you could send around to all the members.
Okay.
And they go on the link and register, and then we hold it. So we'd be happy to do them. They work great. They really do, and we can talk about any topic you want.
The questions are you fiduciary financial advisor?
Yes, absolutely. We're definitely fiduciary. And for those of you that may not be clear on what a fiduciary means, a fiduciary means that the advisor has to act in your best interest and not in our own best interest. And that's what a fiduciary is.
Just a footnote, Stacy Braun is also the same firm that invests the money for the welfare fund, for the welfare fund, part of the union. So and they're doing very well in our finances. So our finances are really good. I'll be sending out. I think we already put out the report for the financial update, but we'll be doing the balance of the active and retirees for the financial fiscal year. Thanks, Kuso. I'm glad you like it. It's good to see you too. James wants to know, do you have a prospectus? Oh, these are big questions. I don't even know what that is. What's this prospectus?
A prospectus is generally for an investment product. So we're not selling anything. So no, we don't have a prospectus. We do have a document called a Form ADV, and I believe, Dalvin, you've probably seen it before. It's something we submit to the Securities and Exchange Commission every year. When you sign up for the consultation, you will be sent a copy so that you have it on file. It just gives a little bit more background about our firm and who the members of the firm are.
In the beginning, Yvonne, so to answer your question, right now it's a one-year pilot program for the active. At some point, the trustees will revisit it and look to have it and to decide if we want to do it for the retirees. If the retirees think it's a good program that you want to look into, then we'll absolutely look into it and see how it goes first for the active, and then we'll look into it for the retirees. Yeah, absolutely. Not at this time, but we'll definitely look at it. Any more questions for him, Mr. Jerry, before we say see you soon? Not see you later, but see you soon.
Hopefully see you soon.
And I mean, let me just say, because I know my family. So somebody's saying, well, we got to get some money in order to invest the money. I know them already. I know them. It's nice to have a financial advisor, but we don't make no money. Let me tell you something. My grandmother always said, it's not how much money you make. I said that carefully. It's what you do with your money. And you can have a person that can make $25,000 a year versus a person that makes $150,000 a year. And that person will have the $25,000 per salary will have more to show for it than a person with $150,000 salary. And that's the reason why I think it's important that we look into this program, utilize it to the best of your benefit. Jerry, you said we can always include our children in this as well, right? To teach
Absolutely.
them how to
Yeah,
children,
absolutely.
grandchildren.
As long
so
as you're there, you can have anyone with you.
right. And so it's not just it's not something that's just for us, it's for our family and for our future. So like I said, I think it's a good program, and I hope all you ladies and gentlemen take advantage of it. And this is the same exact firm that the welfare fund uses to invest our money. It's not somebody that just came off the street. We've been with them now for like 3 years now, and Jerry's new to the family. So Jerry, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And thank you everyone for having me.
Get home safe. Don't talk to strangers.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Oh, can we put that up on? Okay, can we
Oh,
get
you want me
that,
to put it?
that to Tanja? I linked you with her to put up on our website. That can you get that to her some kind of way?
Yeah,
Or
I
do we
just
have it?
emailed it,
Okay, good. All right,
so
we
she should
good.
have it.
The whole PowerPoint. Okay, all right. Thank
All
you.
right, great. Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
All right, good night. All right,
Good
so
night.
thank you. Good update information we all got. I'm gonna say so myself. So, when should I start it? So, back in February 28th, our commissioner Bermudez was reinstated reinstated to be our commissioner, and I came out with an article that voiced us not happy with the reinstatement, not so much because of her as an individual, because of the administration itself, the way we've been treated over the past 8 years. And that was the reason for the newsletter, not to beat her up, but to show our unhappiness about the reappointment, and because we are concerned about there's going to be a continuation of the behavior that we experienced from the administration. We met with her on Monday, and she expressed her was it discontent? She wasn't happy with what came out, and we explained to her. I explained to her that it wasn't nothing against her. It's just that the way we've been treated throughout the years. So it was a very emotional, a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain in this agency. More pain, I think, that we've ever experienced in my 35 years. And in order for us to, which I shared with her, that in order for us to be able to go forward, we have to work past the pain. Some will say the meeting didn't go so well. I would say that it did go well because we had to, and we still do, got to get past the elephants that's in the room. And we can't continue to act like the elephants are not there. So in order for us to get to maybe the goal, I don't know, but to get better, like I told her, like she teaches us about taking accountability for our actions and how we've been able to look at ourselves so we can restore relationships, which is true. You know, communication has to get better. And one of the concerns that I shared with her is that I believe that one of the problems is that when we have labor management meetings, years ago, our labor management meetings consist of former probation officers or supervisors, which were ACs and deputy commissioners. Our labor management meetings now consist of Wayne McKenzie, Michael Forte, and Suzette Mack, and sometimes Melinda. These people have never been probation officers before, so they can't relate to us and talk our language. And I said to her, I believe that's one of the issues. So, you know, we asked if we can't govern who she sends to her labor management meetings, but I think that might help the situation if she revisits who comes to those meetings. We touched upon the schedules, how, you know, the abrupt schedule change in 2019, despite what recommendations we made. I don't know if she knew, but we made recommendations for a better schedule, not to go against the grain, because one thing I've never done is try to stop the program or her vision, but to be that they have to be careful, that we have to be safe, that they can't just make up these have us do these things that I'm not saying it's not our job, because consent to search is our job and other things are our job, but we have to be properly trained to get it done. Nobody never said they didn't want to do it. It's just it has to be done safely, and we have to get the proper training. Like, for example, the consent to search, we've been doing this since June or July, and they put the wagon before the horse. And that's crazy. And I said that you cannot possibly think that it's okay for 3 people to go out to do a consent to search. 2 are unarmed, 1 is armed.
Caleb,
One,
come
I
on,
don't
get
know
up.
which.
Come on, get up.
Let me get. And I understand that while 2 is doing the consent to search, you won't want to do the IEP. That doesn't make sense to me. And I said to her that ever since I've been the president of this union, that this administration has been fighting me very hard. And I had a meeting in Queens today, and one of our colleagues said that, in a nutshell, that this administration doesn't have any respect for me as a president. And I thought about it, and I'm going to reject that. I think this administration is not used to somebody fighting. I think that's the issue. I think they're concerned because I'm fighting them every step of the way. I'm not saying previous administration never did, but I'm fighting them every step of the way. And I think that's more what their concern is. That is it showing they want to appear to be disrespectful? That's all, that's what they want it to appear to be. It's not. What they want to do and what they have done and what they're trying to do is to divide and conquer. That's what they're doing, divide and conquer. So they throw these things out here, and at every level, if you think about it, they get more and more aggressive, more and more assertive. They just keep throwing and throwing stuff. And you got to wonder why. What are we doing? I'm not trying to be the commissioner, and I don't think she's trying to be the president. So I don't know what it is, but I told Anna straight up that those that you send to at these meetings are lying to you. And they're not being honest with you. I don't know how much information is going back, because I know by the time it gets to us, it's all distorted. Information is all distorted. We have been in meetings with them and they say one thing, and by the time it gets down to by the time it gets to you guys, it's a whole different story. Or there's untruths being said in those meetings, and then they twist it back the other way to fit their needs. I don't understand, honestly, family, I don't understand the logic on how they're thinking. I don't understand it. They say our safety is paramount. I don't see it. And I think a lot of you all don't see it neither, because if it was, you wouldn't do things the way that you do it. But the intentions is to come back and to continue the conversations. And she has to be a part of those conversations. And when we get to a point where we're in a good place. So we're hoping that we can continue the conversation and that we can get past the feelings right now, because right now lives are at jeopardy.
Don't deal in his ear.
Lives are in jeopardy, and I don't want us to be a statistic, and that's my concern. Financially, like Harry and Yetta was saying, they've been trying to block our EEO case, and I did mention to her that you are a woman, you are a sister of a person of color, and you choose to love who you love. So you know what it is to be discriminated against against in all fronts, and I hope that it resonated in her, because when you look at the salaries that we have and throughout in the years of service that we put in, it's very sad to see how much money that we make after 35, 40, 25, even 5 years is crazy. The salary is so low, and it's very, yes, James?
With master's degrees.
With master's and college and bachelor's degrees, and it's very sad, and that we're cost savings to the city. So there's some things that we got to think about. We might have to step up our game. I mean, I've gotten so far that I can't go back. I met with the mayor and Deputy Mayor Banks and his team, and we shared those concerns with him. And what was interesting, I want to share with you all, that the mayor said to Deputy Commissioner Campion was on the phone or on the Zoom with us, and the salaries came up again, and he asked her, why are they not reaching their top salary? And this is going to blow your mind. She said, because basically they consider it in the citywide contract, they have us as civilians. And that's sad. Why all these years we've been under this umbrella of civilian in the city, I don't understand. But yet in the CPL, we're peace officers, and we make arrests, and we do everything that police do. We actually do, and even probably more, right? And so that's why Harry and I and our lobbyist is talking about getting us police officer status, because that's the problem. That is one of the problems why we probably can't reach our cap, because she said no civilian reaches their cap. So if we're considered civilians, in their eyes, that's why we're not reaching our cap.
Since
So
when
we
do
have a-
civilians carry guns?
Right, and civilians don't carry guns. Like when I met with Deputy Mayor Banks, and he said that they said you guys were social workers. I said we can't be social workers, sir, because we carry guns, we make arrests, and we have bulletproof vests, and we do everything police officers do. So there's no way that we could be civilians. So it's a lot of educating that we have to do, and a lot of advocating that we're gonna have to do. Because it's a shame that after all these years, as long as probation has existed, that people still can't seem to get a grip on who we are. But if we don't have the administration to advocate for us, I could do my part, and you guys can do your part, but we don't have the leaders of this department doing their part to advocate for us, then, like for example, when we had the city council budget hearing, there was nothing asked for us. It was all about expanding the credible messengers and the neons. And I said to our commissioner, if you're gonna do all that, you need more probation officers. When asked, did you need more probation officers? The response from the administration was, no, we're catching up. We don't need more probation officers. But in the meantime, our caseloads are rising and people are leaving. The last time we was at 860 something probation officers back in 2019. Ever since then, we've been stagnating at 740, 745, because people are coming and they're leaving and they're going to higher paying jobs, and understandably so. But that's not being said when given the opportunity to do better by us, as far as even to ask for more vehicles, because we need SUVs, we need bigger cars. We still have that, according to Forte, we have less PRs than we had before, but we need the proper vehicles if we got to transport prisoners, and we don't have the packages that we need. I had said to the mayor, could you imagine that we have a inmate, a prisoner in the car, and there's an emergency, and we're trying to go through the lights, but we have to stop at a light because we don't have the proper package, the one to go whoop, whoop. We don't have that, and we need those things to properly do our job. So on the administrator's part with the department, we hope to reconvene with them to continue to discuss about what's going on inside. And when I was in Queens today, some really good points were made out, and in the Bronx yesterday, that when it came to the consent to search and EPAPs, that this administration doesn't do EPAPs. I've seen memos, and I think one of our colleagues told me something about a DDP, or something like that, something they call, but they haven't done EPAPs. There's a lot of work to be done. And like I said, a lot of healing to be done. When it comes to the mayor and Deputy Mayor Banks, we'll be working with Deputy Mayor Banks to deal with things externally and some things internally to try to get us to where we need to be. Is it a guarantee that we're going to get everything done? No, it's not. And the mayor said, I'm going to try to help you as much as I can to get you help you with some of your, some of these concerns. But we'll see. My thing is, I'm not going to knock nobody until they show me otherwise. So what I have to do is try to keep the faith in something. I have my God, but I have to try to believe that there's somebody on this earth that's going to finally hear us. If not, we just got to keep pushing. We just got to keep fighting. The annuity monies is now in your accounts for active. And those active who retired since 2019, your annuity monies is in your account. If you go to the ASO account and look under your profile, you'll see how much money is in your account, and you can now monitor that money and see how it's growing. But understand too, the money just started going into the account because we had deferred it because we didn't want people to lose their jobs. So I say about September, you should start seeing a nice piece of decent change. It's only $261 for the year, but it's better than zero. And we had nothing. And like Harry said, the next contract, we are looking to increase that dollar amount But right now you can look on your accounts and see how much money you have in your annuities. And in September, we'll have our administrator, who is ASO, come and talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, more about what the annuity monies is and how it works, and when you separate from the agency, or when you know how that looks. And you're going to receive a beneficiary form, an enrollment form for the annuity that you have to fill out and send back to ASO, because in the event of your death, your monies have to go somewhere. Not the welfare fund, totally separate. I'm talking about the annuity. The annuity. What else I want to say? So when it was my turn to testify for city council, I had to counter what was not said and ask for more probation officers. And that city council back in August even agreed that probation officers were grossly and proportionally not underpaid compared to other law enforcement agencies. And that's what bothered me about when I heard about the department was trying to get our case dismissed, because our leader supported us publicly in August about how important that case was and how it was right on time. And then in March 18th, the announcement was made to the new class that they was working with us to help us get our salaries in parity with other agencies. And I don't know what's going on. So we'll see. Like Harry said, collective bargaining, we put in to start bargaining, and the mayor just got here in about, it's been 3 months. So we got to give him a minute, his people a minute, I guess. We've also talked about the weapon situation, and they got to do better with this weapons, the distribution, the confiscation, and the returning of weapons. One of the young ladies I talked to in the Bronx yesterday has been here for 3 years. She's doing field work and hasn't gotten a weapon yet. And that's crazy. Then another young lady, another officer that reminded us that back in the day, when you finished the academy, you got your gun.
Yeah.
Now it's right, you finished it when you get, now I don't understand why it's taking years. It shouldn't take nobody 3 years to get a gun. And it's crazy because when the gun is, you don't have a gun, or when a gun gets confiscated, they put you back in the field. And that doesn't make any sense to me. So we have to they have to revisit that and look at the manual. We're going to be asking for their curriculums on these trainings. I heard that the consent to search training was not good. It was like, to some people, it was a waste of time. It wasn't informative. It still left you with the question of what to do when I find something. Nobody seems to still not know what to do when I find something. I think it's call your BC or call your supervisor. So I don't know how that works when I'm finding a gun with some weight, some drugs in front of me. What do? I say, wait. And then I tell my partner who's not armed to watch them. And they say, put everybody under arrest. But look, there's 10 or 15 people in the house and there's only 3 of us. So those are kind of questions that have to be addressed. The SPO list is out. Like I said, we had a good turnout. The department, I understand, is starting to interview individuals for the SPO exam. We cannot govern or have any input on how they promote people off that list, but we will be watching the list and making sure that the list stays alive as long as possible. A list can die in 1 year, but can stay alive as long as 4 years. And with them, who knows how long that list can last. But we're going to try to make sure that the list stays alive and that every person that can be promoted off the list. What's I was going to tell you about the list. Some people got something in the mail from DCAS about coming to a meeting to see how the grading and stuff was done. And if you want to learn more about the process of how DCAS works, it doesn't take away from your grade. Your grade doesn't go go down. It stays pretty much the same, which is showing you how they came about getting the grades, the grades that they got. A new class, I said, new class starts on Tuesday. The classes they had about 4 classes last year. This is about our second, maybe our third class this year. I don't know. And I would hate to see how many of them is going to be here by the end of the year. That class starts on Tuesday. Somebody asked about COVID. So I talked to Ms. Mapp today and I asked her, what is the policy when it comes to someone being tested or positive for COVID? And she advised that you continue to reach out to HR and HR will guide you on what to do if you or someone you know is in the job is positive for COVID. I don't know if I mentioned the schedules. but we're going to talk to them more about trying to reconsider these schedules. When they first came up with these schedules, we asked Harry offered them up the rotating schedules, and they rejected it. So we're hoping that they'll go back to the table and talk to us about these schedules, because the schedules, from understanding, it's not even working with these consensus searches or these weekend tours. It's just not working. So they need to, for their own selves, for the operation itself to flow like it needs to flow, they need to revisit these schedules. I had asked in the last two meetings we had in Queens and in the Bronx, how many people knew how to make an arrest, and it seems like a lot of us sadly does not know how to effect an arrest or what to do with an arrest. They have they're revising the arrest manual, which I was told is supposed to be shared with us once it's done, but it was given to me before that, and they're trying to figure out how did I get it. It doesn't matter how I got it. You should have gave it to us a long time ago. So they're supposed to be working on this draft to revise the arrest manual, and then once it's redone, then we'll look at it and give our input on how we think it should look, especially Harry being a former police officer. During the last two meetings in the Bronx and in Queens, they mentioned, some of you mentioned hazardous pay. And Harry said, "Come, we can ask for hazardous pay, but when you ask for hazardous pay, they tend to ask you to give up something, either your vacation time or something. And we do not believe in, unless you guys want to give up something like annual leave or something just to get hazardous pay, that's up to you. I can't make that decision for you, but if you want us to ask, we can ask. The survey went out, like Gita was saying, for the EEO, and we asked that everybody get on. If it's on our website, and we've been passing around through the links for everybody to complete those surveys, so we can help strengthen our EEO case. Like we said before, there's no guarantees, but we're gonna keep fighting until we can't. Until I don't plan on giving up, because I look at the data in front of me, and there's no way that we can allow this to continue going on. It's absolutely it's ludicrous, and it's sad. And like I said, I know everybody's saying, okay, so she got this financial advisor, I'm saying it again, but we don't make enough money. You, like I said, what you do with your money is up to you. But I just want to give you that options to help what money we do make grow. Once again, the health and wellness event is on December 3rd at Anton's, and we'll be sending out reminders on that. And the order for t-shirts, the t-shirts I am giving away to you all because I really feel it active, because I feel you deserve it. I'm thinking about some stuff to do with that. Don't want to announce it yet, but I think we do need to step up our game and to okay, I say so. What we need to step up our game, and we need to get more aggressive. So, but when we step up our game to get more aggressive, that means that I think I've shown you guys that I'm not scared. I can't be scared to be in this position. So and I've been very, very voiceful about how I feel. And like I said, when they got reinstated, I didn't hold back nothing. So I'm doing my part. The other part is that you guys got to do your part. And our attorneys say that all the time. We can do a lot of things as the leaders of this union, but if the members don't back us, then what good are we? So what good are we if we can't, if I say we're gonna ready to do this, I need you guys to come out and nobody comes out. What good are we if somebody keeps complaining about overtime and then we say put it in writing and you never put it in writing? See, I find that people are good at saying a lot of stuff. They even good at attacking the union. They real good at putting things in writing. They real good at organizing when it comes to the union. But when it comes to coming together and fighting together or working together as a union, as a body, then that goes by the wayside. So then the question was, how do we come together? By working together. And when we say, once again, come out, support us. When we say, get a t-shirt and wear it around the office, little simple things like that. And one of our colleagues said, she said she go home. Instead of giving away your time and saying that work past your time because you're scared, because you're going to get transferred or some kind of retaliation is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen until you step out of your comfort zone. But it can't get done with just one person, or me and the lawyer, or me and the executive board. It takes a body. It's almost 800 officers that is here. Even the retirees, because some of these things can affect you. I don't know, because other unions, their retirees come out too to support. But we can't do this if we, I could do all I can do, what I can do without, but I can't do it without you guys. So the question is, what was the response to the suggestions? Right now, we was told, Anna said that she has to process a lot of things right now. So she didn't give us an answer. But when I did respond, when I did ask the question about the EEO and how can you speak about getting the case dismissed, she was told by Attorney Wayne McKenzie not to respond to me because there's an open pending matter. And that's why I can't say but so much neither. And that's why I had the EEO lawyer come on and say what she could say. But no, we didn't get a response to that. And everything else, because we threw some stuff over that way. And she said she now has to process it. And I made it clear to her that you being the commissioner and me being the president, we got to come back to the table, because that's a meeting that she calls for. That's the meeting that she asked for. And then because she asked for it and we had to put some stuff up there, we expect to get some, we want to get some response. And like Yvonne was saying, teamwork makes the dream work. But we can't sit on the sidelines and keep, we sit on the sidelines, but we're not getting in the game. So what I want to see going forward, I want to see everybody get in the game. But that's how you show strength. Strength in numbers is what gives us strength. But when we don't join together, then we can end up falling apart, and they can seep in and take advantage of us. So at the end of the day, I want to see how many people and I love how people dialogue and answer a lot of questions, but I want to see everybody start getting out here and doing their thing. And we're going to be doing something soon. I just don't know what it is. I just got to figure it out. So wait a minute. How did we give up our working hours to include weekends? I didn't give up our working hours to include weekends. Let me explain this. We did research on it. We did act on it, and every union that ever tried to fight schedule change lost, because any administration, McDonald's, any employer can change the schedule to meet their operational need. So, but is it right that they did it the way they did it? No. If they just have to have us work on the weekends, I think that it should be rotating so everybody can get, because right now you don't have weekends. All you got is a Saturday or maybe a Sunday, but you don't have the weekends, and I don't think it's right. Investment option. Okay, so any questions I said that you might have, please refer to United Probation at unitedprobation@gmail.com, and fill out those. If you haven't done so already, fill out the survey so we can try to get our numbers tight and strong. That's one way we can start showing unity. I want to see those numbers. The numbers are good, but it could be better. And if you're really about things getting better for us, you will do your part and start at that point. And at that point. So James
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Oh, Tanja, before we go, I want to share with you guys. I don't know if you remember PO probation police officer Detective Jason Rivera was one of the officers that died, that was murdered in that ambush in Harlem. And his widow, Dominique, sent us a thank you, some thank you photos. A thank you, let me see, I'm gonna show you. She sent us these to thank us for our contribution to her and the family. And I just wanted to share with y'all. And what I'll do is I'll have the PR team post it on the website so you guys can see it. And I'm going to leave it there. I think I'm going to share with our administration, because I don't want this to be us. And you know what's crazy? These guys were these officers, these gentlemen, these detectives were armed and in uniform. And if the third officer was not armed, he would be gone too. And I don't know how much more clear I can make this to them. And I think I definitely will be sharing it with them. But we will be keeping it posted. And we also got a letter from the detective squad thanking us again for our contributions to the families for both officers that passed away. So I just wanted to another moment of silence in honor of Officer Rivera. Yeah. And with that, I'm gonna tell you guys good night. Y'all be safe. And I'm here for y'all. And I'm gonna keep pushing for all of us.
I'll be
Thank you.
talking to you about the stats. We talk about the
Talk
stats.
about stats. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
James, call it. Time.
Okay,
Yeah, it was Kathy here. One of y'all.
okay.
Go ahead.
Motion to conclude the new UPOA general membership meeting held on April.
Good night. Right.